Hi, I'm Becky, one of the floral consultants here at FiftyFlowers, and today I am going to show you how to do a tablescape using our Country Charm DIY kit. And think of things in threes. I like to use 3 different types of bud vases if possible. I like to even think of grouping my bud vases together as we're going down the table. So we're going to start with filling these up. We are working with our Country Charm DIY kit. I am working with the small pack, knowing that I have about 50 stems to work with. I usually like to do 2 to 3 stems per bud vase. So with that being said, we're going to get about 18 bud vases for our small pack. I like to start with a larger focal flower like my rose. If you're not comfortable using a knife, then grab yourself a nice pair of floral cutters. Don't use scissors to do this design. So I go ahead and start with my rose. I'm going to cut that a little bit shorter. I like to have it right at the neck of my vase there. We've got our Kahala rose here, and then our Cubana here. Next, I'm going to add in some of my line flowers. So I'm going to add this beautiful stack. You notice I pulled off some of that greenery. That's just a personal preference there. So then I go ahead and add my line flower there. We've got our purple larkspur here. One important thing too when you're designing is to make sure you're keeping any sort of greenery. This little piece kind of was in my water, so I'm going to pull him off. You don't want that in there. You don't want any of your blooms going in the water. It just makes for a nice clean design. This is beautiful, this spray delphinium. And what I love is we've got all these laterals here that we're going to be able to kind of work with too. This kit in particular is great because it has a very sort of rustic feel. So if you are having an outdoor wedding, this is absolutely perfect. So I've got that. And now I'm able to use some of these shorter laterals. Maybe we're going to go ahead and put them into this bud vase here. I love pennycress lepidium. This has lots of laterals. This is wonderful for bud vases too. I can pull off this lower one and now, again, strip all that foliage off because we don't want that in our water. You want a nice clean design. I'm going to put 2 placements in this one. Now my cylinder vase does have a little bit larger of an opening, so I'm probably going to put a few more stems in that one. Next up, I'm going to add another focal flower. So we've got this gorgeous scabiosa. I'm going to put it in with this design here. I am going to call this particular set done. If you are doing a round tablescape, I suggest, again, a lot of you are using candles with this. So maybe 3 candle pieces, whether that's 3 candlesticks with your taper candles, or if it's a cylinder vase with a floating candle. I suggest putting 3 of those right in the center of the table, then working your 3 bud vases around those candles. And then if you can get the votive candles, the smaller ones, those are great too, because that's going to bring your eye down to the table. So you've got candlelight up here and down below.